What's going on, y'all? So listen. What's going on? Now listen, girl. I know if you saw my Love After Lockup video last night, I said, listen, girl, this gonna be the last time y'all see me until after Christmas or whatever. But I got through watching the Best Man holiday. Not Best Man holiday, but the final chapters. Y'all know what I'm talking about. That's what we here to talk about. And y'all know how I do when it comes to shows that are on like streaming services. I just look at the whole thing because for some reason, if it's not on TV and they're showing me episode by episode each week, I'm going to sit there and I'm going to watch the whole thing. Especially if it's something that I'm truly interested in. I'm going to watch the whole thing and then just talk about it from what I remember and things that stood out to me that was interesting. That's what I'm going to do, okay? That's just how it always happened. I just cannot sit and watch one episode, turn the camera on, talk about it, then go watch the other episode. No. I'm going to have to keep on going, because, and that's how this was, all right? I'm glad that I went on ahead and watched it. And I'm kind of mad that I went on ahead and watched it in one setting. Because honestly, I want more. I know it's called The Best Man Final Chapters, but I feel as though this series, this little one limited series, I'm pretty sure that's what it is, they did it so well. Okay, it came together so well, and I just loved it. Now see, if you haven't seen The Best Man or The Best Man Holiday, I would suggest that you go watch it. The Best Man is one of those movies that came out around a time where there was a lot of black movies that was coming out and was getting a lot of shine. And it was just the era that I love because each one was hitting. Each one was hitting, you know what I'm saying? We don't have too many of those these days, and if we do, where are they? Okay, where are they? You know, it was just like when we had BET was popping, when UPN was popping, baby. Well, where is the flavor? Where is all of that at these days? I don't know, but let's just get into it because honestly, one of the things that I loved about The Best Man and this movie in particular was the fact that you had a group of friends, not just any friends, a group of black friends who were successful. Okay, they were extremely successful. We're not looking at, people struggling. We're not looking at people going through violence. We're not looking at people going through the jail system. We're not looking at people, black people selling drugs and, doing gang stuff and all that shit or whatever, or getting attacked by the police and all this and all that. We're not looking at that. We're looking at successful black individual, a group of black friends and couples, and we're navigating their personal lives to get to the way that they are and their relationships, you know what I'm saying? And I appreciate that. I appreciate it. In this day and age, it is so refreshing to see stuff like that because nowadays we just get so, I'm gonna be honest, like I'm getting over looking at certain type of situations, especially when it comes to black movies, black TV shows, black sitcoms, black comedy, black dramedies, black anything, because it's no variety sometimes. And that's why, every now and then I get on here and I talk bad about the Zeus network because I just feel like that network is filth. At one point you probably looked at VH1 like it was trash. Girl, this Zeus is utter trash because it's just showing a negative side of, if you ask me, a wholly more negative side of black folks, and I get it that it's a market for it or whatever, but I just can't subscribe to some shit that's like that. Right now they got the whole Krishan and Blueface shit up there. If you can't tell something is exploiting, that's exploitive as fuck, okay? And we're just putting out there, it's harmful. It is harmful. That show is so harmful. I haven't watched it. I'm not going to watch it. First of all, I don't find those people interesting enough. I don't understand how come they are as popular in the media, black media, urban media, whichever one you want to call it, as they are. I feel like people getting paid to talk about them and post about them or whatever, because why do y'all care so much what these people do? And all they do is talk about fighting each other, cheating on each other, and all this other shit. It's just ridiculous, and it is a dangerous situation that both of them are in. And instead of trying to say, no, we're not gonna promote this, we're not gonna put this on a platform and give it legs, that's exactly what they do, you know. And it's just like everything is a money grab these days. And I'm just tired of seeing certain stuff. So seeing this type of, you know, show, and it's carrying on in the same essence and the same flavor somewhat of the actual movies, I think they did a good job. I think they did a good enough job. It kept me tuned in. It kept me laughing in certain parts. It had me like that for a minute, a couple of times. I said, bitch, what? Oh my God, get your ass up. Get your ass up. I was just like that, girl. I was just like that. But, you know, if you haven't watched The Best Man is about a group of friends that's coming together for one of their friends' wedding, right? Two of their friends are getting married to each other. And, all of these people, for the majority of them, I think outside of Robin, they all met at college, you know what I'm saying? So they all just was really good friends. You got Lance, the football player, who was about to get married to Mia, all right? You got Harper, who was Lance's best friend, who's a writer, and, you know, he put this book out. We'll get to him. He's supposed to be with Robin, okay? But he also has feelings for Jordan, and they've been having feelings for each other that they never truly acted upon, you know, since college, okay? But yet Harper fucked around with Mia, as we found out in college, you know? You know, what's this lady? Jordan, she's like a TV executive, you know what I'm saying? She's just ruling that, you know? And as we see from The Best Man to The Best Man Holiday to the series, she's just getting higher and higher up in the ranks, okay? So she's very goal focused, and she's very work focused as well, you know what I'm saying? She's one of those working women that, and also she's the main one that's up in a group that can't keep a man. Every time we see her, either she has one and it goes, or she don't. All right. And when the series opened up, Mama had just broke up with somebody. Like, Mama ain't had nobody. I said, damn, like, I feel some type of way to a certain extent, because you don't necessarily need to be in a relationship to feel like you got something, but sometimes you do want to be in a relationship. And sometimes it gets a little hard looking at everybody around you in your friend group coupled the fuck up. But then you can't really be like, oh, I wish I had what y'all had, because when we come together, you know, everything seems peachy keen or whatever. But then when they go behind closed doors, they really got issues that's going on. So you just stay with what you got, okay? Don't wish that you had whatever somebody else has, because you truly don't know what they have behind closed door. That's the word right there. Meanwhile, you got Merch. I hope I'm saying his name right, but y'all know who it is. He's like the goofy one. He's like the nerdy friend that you keep on or whatever. People don't take him too seriously. They kind of play him to the back. He's easily to be used by women, because he was being used and manipulated by Shelby a little bit. I don't know if it was really manipulation, but he was being used by Shelby, okay? And Shelby is a whole drug in her own self. Let me tell you something. Shelby had me dying laughing in the first couple of episodes, okay? The first couple of episodes, that bitch... Girl, she was true Shelby. And the way their story came about, it was crazy. Then you had Candace, who was played by Regina Hall. She was the stripper that was one of the strippers that was brought in for Lance's bachelor party, who took a liking to Merch, because Merch took a liking to her. And, you know, they wound up getting married and having kids and all that stuff. And she got out of that. You know, she was just using stripping, I guess, to pay for school or whatever. In the series, she was trying to get her PhD, you know. She's trying to get her PhD and talking about trying to get certain type of, you know, like cannabis or whatever, to be used medically, or other drugs to be used medically, that's kind of like, you know, not necessarily on the market or that's legal, but to be trying to make them use medically for like anxiety purposes and things of that such. Because one of their children, their daughter, I think it's the oldest daughter, deals with very bad anxiety. And we got a taste of that in one of the episodes when they were about to go to the Christmas party, and Shelby and them Christmas party, and the girl was freaking out about what to wear because she did not want to get picked on by Shelby's daughter. You know what I'm saying? And so I just felt real bad, and I understood exactly why she was doing it. And so she was getting a lot of drawback from that. Okay. People just really wasn't trying to see it, you know. Moving on from that, you also get Q, aka Quentin, played by Terrence Howard. And you know, he's like the playboy of the group, for real, for real. Like the one that you thought would never get married. The one that was just, he's talented, you know, he's real estate. And he was just doing him, okay? He'll put that truth out there when he needs to, all right? He'll let you go ahead and do what you got to do, but when you need to get that whole that truth, he'll put that shit out there, all right? He winds up fucking around with Shelby, who used to fuck around with Merch, because Merch cussed her ass out and said, no, bitch, I'm not finna do all this shit for you no more. And he went over there with Candace. And I said, that's how you got to do it, because Shelby was taking advantage of him, all right? And who else you have? You have Harper and Robin. Now, with Harper is the writer of the group, like I said. And, you know, he winds up meeting with Robin. They get into this relationship. And even on the Best Man movie, I just never understood why Robin continued to stay with him. I never understood why Robin continued to stay with him. I just didn't get it. I did not get it. I mean, I can love you for so much, but one thing that you're not going to do is constantly disrespect me, and then I keep on finding out stuff about the relationship that you got with a certain woman in your friend group. You know, because Harper and Jordan had this undeniable chemistry between them, but yet, you know, for some reason, it never quite actually went all the way there where they're hooking up and they're being a couple and they're getting into a relationship and all that stuff. Harper also caused a lot of drama in the first episode, or I should say the first movie, because he wrote this book, and basically, which made me mad. Oh my God. Like, see, we gotta say, I need Bondi to do the Best Man for Her Now That We Are Grown series, okay? Because if y'all have not watched Bondi Blues series on called Now That We Are Grown, what she does is she takes a lot of what she's been doing is she's take black classic films. You know, she's did What's Love Got to Do with It. She's done The Inkwell. She's done oh my God, A Thin Line Between Love and Hate. I believe she did Baby Boy. You know, she's done a lot of black classic films that we have seen, and she literally like what's Waiting to Exhale, she broke it down. She breaks it down and gives you a different type of perspective that you look at it like, yeah, I can see that now that I'm an adult, you know. And I want her to do this for The Best Man, because Harper was a dick. And I feel like we all realized that since the first movie, because that motherfucker, like, how do you write a book about your friend group, disguise it as fiction because you changed the name of the people in your group, but you're literally putting everything that y'all did, all of y'all experiences, and some of the secrets that were not put out there and people are finding out in the book, and you're putting it out there to the world, and you didn't tell anybody what was going on, and you're trying to stop people from reading the advanced copy, and then your secret coming out about the fact that you fucked your friend's wife now and all this shit back in the day, you know. And it's like, what did you expect? Honestly, I don't know if I could have forgiven him the way that Lance forgiven him, even though Lance was about to beat, well, Lance did beat his ass, and he was about to throw him over that balcony. Q had to, you know, talk him down, but I just wouldn't have been able to do it, right? And then you got your woman reading this book and figuring out who the fuck Jordan is in the book, and reading about how close and intimate y'all relationship was, and basically realizing, bitch, you second choice. I will never be in a relationship with somebody that makes me second choice. And I just don't understand people like that. That just goes like the girl from Love is Blind season 2, the black couple, and they just got a divorce or whatever. He was not mature enough, and he didn't even want her first. She was second choice. And y'all surprised that it didn't last. And then, and I'm sorry, and I may sound a little bit insensitive, but I honestly did not understand maybe it was her grieving process. That's probably what it is. And maybe because they got together on a public situation, so let's play this out in the public or whatever, because I'm pretty sure people were invested. But at the end of the day, I didn't feel sorry for her, because you knew that you were second choice. You knew that this man really wasn't everything that you needed. You knew that he was not on your level in the maturity aspect of it. You knew, okay? And you still decided to just say, I do, And I'm just like, nah, I can't feel too bad for you. I feel bad that this shit happened in the public the way that it did, and she seemed like a sweet girl. But no. And Robin, I really felt like she knew that she was second choice, and if she didn't know, she found out then. And he winds up proposing to her at the end of the movie, and obviously she said yes, and they had kids and all that, and a daughter in the second movie. Bitch, it just wouldn't have been me. I'm sorry, I got too much about myself, self-respect. And again, the heart's one what the heart want, but sometimes we can't listen to our heart, we gotta listen to our mind, okay? Use your heart and not your mind. Well, that's what SWV said. Sometimes that was wrong too, okay? That song didn't go the way that I wanted it to go. No. But, yeah, so we get that, right? And then you find out that, Quentin and Shelby been fucking around with each other. And, the most... The thing about The Best Man, like, honestly, when The Best Man holiday came about, I really wish they did not do what they did to Mia. Because, baby, I ain't need to know that. I ain't need to know that. That's a movie that still gets me in my feelings. Because, I don't know, it's when somebody that is such a nice person, such a lovable person, you think that they can do no wrong. They're just sweet as pie. And then all of a sudden something bad happened to them, like they get sick and, this happened, and then they lose their life. That is exactly what happened with Mia. I said, now why the fuck y'all had to do that? Y'all couldn't come up with something else. Y'all just really wanted us. Y'all wanted to hit us in the throat, gut, and heart. And that's exactly what y'all did, bitch. That's exactly, I'll never forget that scene when she was throwing up blood. I said, oh my God, she really is sick. But you want to know what scene that no matter what time of day, no matter how many times I watch the movie, this particular scene, I will break down. And I'm not a crier like that, but that scene where they was burying Mia and Lance finally let go, when that fist unfurled, it opened up, and them tears started coming, and that body, I said, oh my God. I will break down and cry each time, because it's like, I felt that shit. And I feel like that movie and this series was why probably Morris Chestnut's like one of his best acting situation. Okay, like he was evoking emotions, bitch. I was like, all right. So that wound up happening at the end of, happily Best Man Holiday. Quentin said that he was getting married. I said, bitch, to who? Girl, we get to the series, right? We get to the series and we find out that Quentin getting married to what's her name? Nicole Ari Parker. I love me some Nicole Ari Parker, okay? Because listen, can you you want to know a fine couple that works, and I am so glad that they are still together? Nicole Ari Parker and Boris Kojo. Baby, when I tell you them motherfuckers are so goddamn fine, I was like, bitch, how are y'all that fine together? Like, ooh, all right. And it don't look like they be aging that much. I mean, honestly, she still looks the goddamn same. When he grow his beard out or whatever, it's probably a little salt and pepper, whatever. But he still look the same too. He's getting better with time as well. Because I don't know if y'all watch him on Station 19 that comes on before Grey's Anatomy. Yeah, he still look good too. I said, God damn. See, I don't want to be with nobody that's fine. Okay, nah, I got to compete with you. Like, we got to come outside together. Like, I can't be looking bummy when you looking good as shit. Because you look good as shit even when you wake up. Ooh, that's a lot of pressure. But, you know, so we get up into that. If you don't know, Quentin is like carefree, okay? He's doing the family business, the Spivey real estate or whatever. They open up a resort out in one of the islands, the Caribbean islands or whatever. No offense if I got that wrong. And so he said he's going to get married. What's her name? Zamora or something like that. She's a model. She's an actress. She's this. She's that. She's a singer. Because at one point when she was giving her little, you know, speech at the dinner, she was like, I know people may look at me and think that, you know, what is it about me and my, you know, so-and-so Grammys and my Teen Choice Awards and my MTV Awards and my People Choice Awards and my Emmys and my Golden Globe and my SAG and this. I said, damn bitch, you damn near EGOT, you that bitch like that? And she's all into the holistic stuff. She's into the saging. They're into the crystals. They're into the, you know, sitting down and doing the meditation and everything. And I say, and all of that shit, you know what I'm saying? Or all of that stuff, I should say. And when everybody comes down there, because mind you, this is in 2015. It picks up in 2015, the series in the first couple of episodes. So they coming down there to the island or whatever, and for them to get married, but nobody has ever seen, this is the first time they seen who he was marrying, okay? And I was like, okay, they cute together or whatever, but her vibe is totally different, and you could tell that it was more so of a business opportunity type of situation. That's what it felt like. And I don't know if he truly had feelings for her. He got into the relationship and changed completely who he was. He went from being a playboy type of dude that smoke cigars, probably smoke some weed, drink whiskey and all that stuff, to basically damn near just being plant and shit, you know, from the earth, you know. And they was looking at him like, what? And Harper was the main one that was just like, nah, this ain't my boy, something's going on. And everybody else was just like, just let him be, just let him be. Merch, on the other hand, you got him just being in his feelings because Quentin wanted Harper to be his best man and not Merch. And, you know, I feel like Merch was letting a whole bunch of shit go past. And so, therefore, he just wanted to be chosen. It's been probably many opportunities and many situations that they've been in where he probably wasn't the first choice. He probably was that friend that they put to the back, like I said, you know. And so when you see his character develop in this series, you see the issues that's going on in his relationship with Candace, and you see the issues that's going on with him in the group. He do feel left behind to a certain extent, and he also feels that as well. Like he said that literally in one of the episodes, that with Candace doing all that she's doing with school, because what we've been seeing her do is focus on the kids and mostly focus on her schoolwork, trying to get this PhD. He don't know where he stands. What is his place in this relationship? What is his place anymore? He just don't know. You know, so he's going through like I don't want to say a midlife crisis, but it could be. Like, he's literally trying to find himself, you know. But while they out there on the island, you know, they finally got Lance to come out there. Lance is still grieving, okay? Mia passed away, and Lance is just, when they first get to Lance opened up that door with his dingling out. I said, oh my God, what is your problem? He was like, oh, it closed it. He had the beard and everything, so they had to get him out because he was just fucking everybody, okay? Girl, when they get to the island, he didn't fuck the stewardess. He probably did somebody at the reception desk, but it was also this one lady who caught his eye, and, you know, they formed like a little friendship type of situation, and he instantly formed a liking to her. And at one point, I think he had a chance to actually I think they slept in the same room with each other, but it didn't become sexual because one, he couldn't perform. Now he was fucking everybody else, but then when it came time to somebody that he actually got some real feelings for or was getting some real feelings for, he just couldn't do it. And I like the fact that they didn't let her just go ahead and have sex with him right off the bat. She put out there that she was getting married or something like that. She had a husband. I said, girl, or she had a fiance or something like that. I said, now, girl, you kicking it with this man in his room, and you got a whole man too. Girl, stop lying. You know, just say I don't want to get in too deep with you because you don't live here. You live in the States, and I'm over here, and I want to do that long distance type of situation thing. That's what I felt it was, all right? And plus, she knew his reputation and knew what he was going through. So I felt like she just wanted him to go ahead and get all of that out his system before she actually thought about giving him a chance. And if that's the case, I respect that. I respect that because if she would have went on ahead and jumped on in with him, he probably would have hurt her because he's not done healing. He wasn't done healing at that point, you know. And I don't feel like when somebody passes away or you lose someone in any type of way, you're not completely healed at all. You're never going to be completely healed because it's still going to hurt at certain points. But he hasn't even started to heal at all. So that's the issue. You know, everything is going well. You got Robin trying to, you know, do her cooking thing, and she's opening up. She's trying to, you know, think about different spots to cook, and you know, she sees this lady on the beach and, you know, get inspiration from her and spend some time with her. Because listen, let me tell you something, Miss Lady, I don't know, maybe because I'm gay and I just got a gay filled mind, okay, lesbian mind, but them two, they was giving me a little bit of feelings like, you know, Robin always gave me a little bit of lesbianic tease. I don't know what that's about, but she did. And in that scene where they was just so close or whatever, and she was feeding her the food and all that stuff, and she was like, oh my God, what you put up in this? What do you call this? She was like, love. And I was like, oh my God, what? But no, it was like a mentor-e type of situation, and I appreciate that too. Meanwhile, we see, like I said, Harper is worried about Q and don't really feel like, you know, Zamora, or whatever her name is, Nicole Ari Parker's character, is really for him, and that he's, you know, like faking the funk or something is going on. And then all of a sudden, here comes Shelby, bitch. Shelby come through. Mind you, the first time that we see Shelby, she's on Watch What Happened Live with Andy Cohen because she's part of the Real Housewives franchise, right? And he questions her about Quentin getting engaged and how she may feel. She was like, okay, and it was like, well, you didn't feel that way when you found out he was engaged. We caught you on camera. Like, we filmed the whole thing. She was getting her a pedicure, manicure done, whatever. And then the news came out and she got so pissed. She ran up out of there. She got in her car, left the car door open as she gets out to get to the cab or whatever, goes over there to try to confront Q. And it was just a fucking mess. And she just sitting there like, okay, Ed. I said, cause girl, you can't admit. I don't like people like Q and Shelby in real life because I don't like to play those games. I mean, I like them, but don't play games like them with me, okay? This is what happens when you have a situationship, or you try to have a situationship and people want to say, oh, I can just fuck without no feelings. No, because if you continue to have it for years, 9 out of 10, even for months, okay? 9 out of 10, baby, that situationship on one of y'all parts gonna want to turn into a relationship, and you know, one of y'all gonna get y'all face cracked, or both of y'all gonna be feeling the same way. And that's what was going on with Q and Shelby. Shelby dropped her ass on that island after she was talking to Jordan. And mind you, I like the fact that now everybody gets along, because at one point, I don't think Robin was really feeling Jordan because she found out about the relationship or the closeness in the book about, you know, Harper and Jordan. And then, you know, Shelby and Candace didn't really rock with each other like that, but now they're cool. You know, now Jordan and Shelby, they're real good. Baby, Jordan said, bitch, I'm not finna tell you what this wedding at, okay? Mama found out anyway and still popped the fuck up. I said, cut through, Shelby. Girl, caused the scene. Quentin cussing her out. Next thing you know, they fucking. I said, bitch, your soon-to-be wife is right here. What is going on? He said, bitch, I ain't married yet. And she knew what was going on because she confronted Shelby. She was like, you know, you had 2 balls in your mouth last night, huh? I said, wait. Oh my God, it was so funny. When they did the hallucination of the tea and everything, I said, bitch, I do not want to. After what I experienced with them edibles, I haven't taken the edibles since. I'm cautious now, okay? Cause listen, I ain't never tripped out like that. And after looking at, I said I don't want no hallucinogenics right about now. I'm keeping it clean, okay? I'm keeping it clean. I ain't even drank alcohol in a minute because a bitch is just a little nervous, okay? A little nervous, bitch. I'm the only one up in here. Girl, I want nobody to find my body. They was up there drinking that tea. I said, oh Lord, you know. And Shelby had to go take a shit. Then it gets down to the episode where it was his Merch was in charge of the bachelor party. And the whole time Merch is trying to get the best man spot, the best man shop. He just want to be seen, right? So you get that happening. He gets in charge of the bachelorette party. He gets the strippers. Hold on one second. Okay. I ordered something and it's finally on its way. All right, it'll be here Thursday. I have to get a toaster. Anyway, so you got that happening. And you know, he do get some strippers. He wound up hitting one of the strippers in the face accidentally. And right before they could really do what they needed to do, baby, Candace and them came down there and had this little introduction for the main event. Girl, they opened up the curtain. Why is Jodeci's Freaking You coming on? And that is, I wanna freak you every freaking day and every freaking night. I wanna freak you. Okay. Bitch, I said, come through, Shelby. All right, Shelby came through. I was like, you know, she was a little old with it because she fell down on the floor a little bit. She had to moisten up them joints, okay? But I'm a little good what she was doing, and Quentin was here for it. And that was what it was that made him realize that, you know, he really wanted her. After Harper gonna tell Shelby, you need to go ahead and leave. You're making a fool of yourself. And I was just like, what? So she about to go. Quentin found out about it. Quentin had said that Merch gonna be his best man because of that. And so he called her at the airport and finally declared that he loves her and all that stuff. And they wind up getting together. And instead of getting with Zamora, he winds up getting married to Shelby. I said, see, there it is right there. And then come to find out, Shelby's daughter, 10-year-old daughter, is his daughter as well, you know. And so I thought they would have expounded on that a little bit. Probably showing him probably why didn't you tell me this? But he was cool with it. He didn't have no like, oh my God, you made me miss 10 years of her life and all this shit or whatever. He just hopped on a bandwagon with it. I said, okay. Zamora did burn down one of them huts. One of them, not huts. Oh my God. I only said hut because it had the roof, the way that the roof looked. I'm sorry. One of the resort villas. That's what it was. She burnt that bitch down while she walked away. And see, Zamora was also being liked by the daddy because they was going to use her for like the face of, you know, the real estate company and venture project that they was going on. And so they was going to use her to basically bring in business. And that's how, you know, I was like, no, this ain't right. This ain't right. You really want to be with Shelby. And so you got that going on. Then we fast forward like throughout the years from 2015 to the current present of 2022. You know, with Quentin, he's the head of the real estate. He's doing the real estate with his dad. And, you know, they're opening up more businesses, more hotels and whatever property worldwide. They was out there in Paris was one of the last ones that they opened up. It was opened up for a year before it had to close because then the pandemic came through. You know, Robin, she became a successful cook, you know, putting out, I don't know if she was putting out cookbooks or whatever, but opening up like restaurants and stuff or whatever. And then again, you got Jordan, she's still on the rise or whatever, you know. Jordan trying to find her man, all that stuff, but she's more so, like I said, she's career oriented at this point. Candace, again, like I said, she was doing her PhD And let's just talk about them for a second. Because at this point, we could just go by couple. And then we can come back to the group. Oh, excuse me, I'm so sorry. Sinuses, y'all already know the deal. I got my humidifier on too, bitch. It is a wonder. Anyway, so Candace and Merch, you know, he's like a school teacher. She's like trying to get her PhD. They got 2 kids, and you know, she's ripping and running, and it feels as though they don't have time for each other. And I was kind of nervous for them because I didn't know which way that they were going to go, because I did not want them to break up, right? And I was like, Candace, I get that you're trying to work on your PhD. Like, she was using every moment almost to go to the school to get the professor to talk to her. Come to find out, the professor is a goddamn predator, okay? Tried to sexually assault, well, he did sexually assault her by, you know, put his hands and groped her breast while in her office when she gave up time to go see her daughter's what was it, recital or whatever, dance rehearsal or whatever that they was having. And she up in there trying to work on her paper that he keeps on saying, okay, this is good, but I need you to fix this part. And all of it was a ploy to get her to keep coming around. And I feel like he was trying to groom her and trying to let her defenses down so he could take advantage of her. And when all of this is happening, this how niggas ain't shit. He's on the phone talking to the woman in his life, and they were supposed to be meeting up to have dinner or some shit. And he talking about something, I love you too, babe. And then gonna come over there rubbing on Regina's shoulder, or I should say Candace's shoulder, and then all up on her boob. I said, what the fuck? What the fuck? You know, so he was supposed to be getting this award or something, getting honored by this prestigious institution, and she had to put it out there that, you know, you can't get this man there because he out there sexually molesting people, you know, so assaulting people, you just can't do that. So she became like one of the movement people, faces of like Me Too or whatever, you know, whistleblower type of thing. And she was on the Time magazine cover. This was what her story was at the end. Okay. She winds up getting her PhD. She winds up doing what she had to do. I was just really concerned because, like I said, she was so focused on that. Merch is out here hurting, and I felt bad for him. Because he just wasn't being seen. You know, that one group of that, you know, I hate that there's roles sometimes in a friend group. You do have that role of, oh, the pretty person or the funny person and the serious person, the dad or the mama of the group, or, you know, the one that we just got around just because, you know, they're a little goofy, they're a little nerdy, but we play them to the left. That's what they do with Merch, okay? They love him, but I don't feel like people take him serious enough. And so I really felt bad for his character, and I knew it was going to be a boiling point the way that they was building it up, because he wasn't getting the attention that he needed in the relationship that he was having with his wife, because she was so focused and determined to get her PhD. And I know some people may say that he was probably being a little selfish, but I feel like he had a right. It could be that as well, but he had a right to feel the way that he was feeling, and it was just building up. But he never stopped her from doing what she wanted to do, though. So I give him that. But also, I feel like where he dropped the ball at is, if you're feeling this way, you should have sat down and you should have had a conversation with your wife, okay? And y'all need to discuss what is going on and what you're feeling instead of holding this all inside. And then things truly start coming to a head when Harper gets offered to do this movie for his book, you know. I think it's called Undisclosed Business, right? For the book that caused all the trouble in the first movie. And so when he saw the trailer and saw how he was being portrayed as basically a lapdog puppy to Shelby, you know what I'm saying? He just really wasn't here for it. And I just felt so bad when he had that conversation with Quentin, because he had told him that he wasn't coming to the premiere of the movie. He got into MMA fighting. well, boxing gear, that MMA fighting to let off steam, because he also had an incident where he was with his daughters. He held the cab pulled up for him, one of his daughters got into the car, and then this white lady proceeded to bombard her ass into there and made a whole scene that this black man was trying to take this cab from her and had the cops come in and basically be on her side. She was very much carrying it out, you know. And I hated the way that that made him feel, because I hated the way that it made me feel when I was watching it. And so I knew he was going to feel some type of way. So you holding that in because you really didn't do anything about it, because you trying not to go there, because at this moment you just have your daughters and who's going to come pick them up at that moment. You don't want to further traumatize your child. And then when he told about the incident to everybody else, I think Q&M or whatever, they was like, did you record it? Did you record it? Like, no, I'm in the midst of it. In my mind is not to pull out the camera and record at that moment. Not for everybody, you know. And it was like, you know, when that incident first happened and they come home, you hear one of the daughters being upset that he didn't really do anything. And then the other daughter is trying to say, do you not understand that he's a black man? And what that would, if he would have acted out of character, whatever, they really could have took him to jail. He probably could have got shot and all this stuff. And it made me mad in that sense, because I think Candace knew what happened. She wound up telling him or whatever, but because she overheard what the girls was talking about. And in that whole incident, she never asked him, how did he feel? Was he okay? No one asked him, was he okay? And that bothered me. So he had a lot of steam to take pressure. He had that incident. He has the wife they're not really being husbands and wife at this point. And then you have that incident, and then you have looking at the trailer of you being this, I guess, lap dog, you know what I'm saying? This little sick puppy, and being used by Shelby, you know what I'm saying? Getting thrown back in your face, and you realizing the type of person that you were and the type of person that people saw you as back then. And it's just like, damn. You know, and so when he had that little outburst with Quentin, I felt that on the street when Quentin was trying to ask him, like, how come you're not coming to the premiere? And he just went off, and I felt so bad for him. Like, I honestly started to tear up at that moment, because I felt that. I felt him going through the shit that he was going through. You know, he just want to be seen. He just want to be heard, but you're not opening up your mouth to be heard. And that's what Merch's problem was too for me. Open up your mouth and tell people, listen, I am here. Treat me as such, okay? Treat me like I fucking matter, okay? And not like I'm invisible. Trust me, I feel like I kind of identify a little bit with Merch, because, you know, I've had bouts where I feel like I'm invisible to people or whatever. So I get it, like I'm not being heard or whatever. And I feel like a lot of people have had that situation happen. But that was what was going on with him. Meanwhile, we get Jordan, she winds up hooking back up with an ex that she was with from like high school to 21 or something like that. Girl, fuck him. And it was played by no other than Terry Silver. Okay? Now, every time I done seen Terry Silver, and if you seen Power, you know who Terry Silver is, okay? Now, every time I done seen this man, all the characters that I seen him in, he's an asshole. And come to find out, I don't know what it is. He was putting it on thick, okay? So apparently he had cheated on her back in the day, but they were real young, and then he had went and got married, and then I think she cheated on him, and, you know, they got divorced, and then he came back around, one randomly saw Jordan, and then they tried to see if they can make something work, if it was something still there. But at the same time, you know, he was just putting it on thick. I want to take you to Paris on the jet. I want to do this and I want to do that and all this stuff. And I'm just like, I mean, I get it. You're trying to show me that you changed and show me that you can take care of me and all that stuff. I don't need all of that. We can just kick it. You don't got to do too much for us to kick it and me to try to get to see who the real you were. And I just felt like he wasn't putting on who the real him was. You know what I'm saying? And then when she found out that one of his company was a shell company for the backing of making prisons, and you know, making these prisons is meaning to get more black bodies in them. Oh yeah, she wasn't here for it. So when they went to the premiere, he was at the premiere of the movie, and he felt some type of way about Harper and Jordan's relationship, and he tried to come for Harper. And I'm sitting here like, Terry, you got to get the fuck on, okay? Demetrius, that was his name. You got to get the hell on. And I'm so glad Jordan opened up her eyes and said, fuck you, and didn't really go all in with him and let him go. Because he was a pretentious asshole, if you ask me, you know. He gave me one of those people that grew up without money, and I finally made my money, and now, think I'm that nigga. That's how he gave me. That's what he gave me, the vibe. But moving on from there, Jordan also, like I said, she was career oriented. She's elevating in the ladder of work, and she was doing so much to a point where at one point when she was with old boy, she said she had a headache. She said it was just a migraine, okay? And, you know, I'm thinking like, I don't want nobody else to have no health scare up in this group. We already done lost me, and please don't let nothing else be wrong with anybody, okay? Girl, she was up there giving a presentation later, and she literally went blind. She literally went blind for a second. Temporary blindness. And it was Shelby that had to make her a freaking doctor's appointment and tell her to get her health in check, because Shelby and Q had a health scare as well, you know. And come to find out, it was stress related, you know. And if you already know, especially in black people, especially amongst black women, stress is one of the #1 killers, okay? It's a silent killer, you know. And so everybody needs to work on getting their stress level down. And like we said, she's so career focused, so career this, you know. And so it was taking a toll on her. Meanwhile, at the very end of the episode 8, with her story for the moment, they were telling her she was in a meeting. You could see that she was in charge. They're telling her, oh, this needs to happen. This is going on. This is going on. This is going on. They're just throwing everything at her. And she's just sitting there like, And you see this calm come over her like, you know what? For right now, I don't need this. I need to put me first. I got to put me first, Lucia. I got to put me first. Girl, she said, I'm gone for the day. I'm gone. That's what it is. She literally quit for right then and there. I don't know if it was really quitting, but she just walked the fuck about there. And girl, they had Break My Soul playing. The soundtrack was good. Okay, the soundtrack was good. And that's the first time I heard Break My Soul play on any TV show or whatever. And this scene with her basically gonna quit my job. I said, y'all put that placement in there real nice. Real nice. And I love that red pantsuit that she had on when she was walking out. I said, you better fucking do that, Nia. You better fucking do that, Nia. All right. Meanwhile, we get over there to Quentin and Shelby. Like I said, they're married, you know. She's trying to still be the it girl. She's still trying to be in the media some type of way. She's feeling, you know, it was this one girl that was coming over there. I think her name was Paris or whatever. She was like, oh my God, I'm such a fan of yours and all this stuff. And, oh, you're crying because I'm crying. And it was like, no, but I'm not crying because of you. Okay, so let's just take this picture or whatever. She was going through high flashes. Shelby wound up getting menopause a little bit. About to get premenopausal. Quentin and her, I was surprised that they stayed together, you know, because sometimes people could be like, you the love of my life. Even though they was playing around all these years, he could still probably fuck him and go cheat. But they really went well together, and they stayed together, raising their daughter, Kennedy, who was basically had Quentin wrapped around her thumb and her fingers or whatever, just buying her any and everything that Shelby said no to. She was a mini Shelby. Okay, just like Shelby had Quentin wrapped around her fingers, so does Kennedy. And Kennedy never really called him dad. It took for him to have a health scare right in front of her to finally hear her call him dad, you know. And that was a good moment for him. But they, you know, had to deal with the fact that his dad, was going through probably like, I don't want to say dementia, but it could have been dementia, Alzheimer's or something like that. Because the secretary was telling him how he wound up at one point the last month paying her 5 times that month. Okay. And, you know, forgetting things, falling, hurting himself, whatever, because he did hurt his hand. And, you know, he was mad at Quentin because Quentin was entertaining the idea of selling the company to these other people headed by these white people, and the daddy was like, they're racist and all that stuff and woo woo. He wouldn't let them come up in the house, but then when they finally get up in the house looked like a hoarder's place, you know. It was just unsanitary, okay? And so you knew that he had some issues going on and he just couldn't say it, or he probably didn't remember or think that he had issues going on because he was going through it. Like I said, it seemed like, you know, dementia or Alzheimer's or something like that, degenerate brain function that was happening. So they wind up, them two wind up having it out. We see them get emotional, we see them fix it. Next thing you know, it's time for New Year's Eve. They're having a party where everybody's getting high. That's all the treats. They're getting drunk. You know, they were supposed to go to an after-hour spot, but they didn't do it. They wind up coming home, and girl, while they was about to have sex, he fuck around and have a mini heart attack. I said, oh my God, baby, when I saw that, Shelby sobered up real quick. I love their sexual chemistry though. I really do. It is fun. They are a fun couple, okay? I love a fun couple like that. But when he fell down on that floor, I said, oh my God, no, we can't lose somebody else already. But he was okay. He had to just watch himself for like a couple of months or whatever. And we see the issues that started to arise between Shelby and him because he wanted to continue to do what he wanted to do. She trying to look out for his health, and you know, they get into a big argument at that. And then at one point he was exercising, talking to his daughter, and he gets off the bike and he winds up falling down on the ground again in pain. He thought he was having another heart attack, but come to find out he had a pinched nerve. And that brought him back to reality to see that Shelby is really on my side and she's just trying to look out for me, okay? She don't want me to leave, and I love her to life, okay? I don't want her to go. I don't want to be without her. I want to be with her. And when they had that moment, like, this is such a stark change from when we first saw Quentin and how he used to be, you know? So that was good. I like that. Meanwhile, we get to Lance and his whole situation. Lance do eventually winds up hooking up with old girl from the resort in the islands. They wind up getting together because when he was retiring his jersey at the end of the episode 8 or whatever, she just so happened to be there because she got transferred in this program to come over to the United States to do something with the hotels or whatever. And so they get to talking, and then I guess a couple of years pass and they're in a relationship, you know, and I like that for him. She's good for him. But Lance is going through a lot. You know, he was just going through trying to find who he is without Mia. He's no longer playing football. He's still in this process of grieving. And then he tries to go back and play football. And it was going well doing a little practice or whatever until one of the motherfuckers kind of hit him. And he was like, that's okay. I'm 48 years old, nigga, and that is okay. I didn't know they was hitting like this in 2013, that they hitting like this in 2022. That is A-okay. So they offered him the assistant coach position. And it was one particular player on there. You know, you always get that one in these shows where they think they're the best. They're so cocky, but they haven't really accomplished nothing yet. And so he was giving him fever when he was practicing. And he was giving him fever when he was being the assistant coach. But the way that he spoke to him to bring it down, to make him understand, it was almost like, I want you to win, but you have to go back this way. He wasn't trying to scold him. He was trying to put his foot down, but in a way that it'll make it get through and he wouldn't feel as though you trying to attack me. And he finally got it. And I was looking at that dynamic and I felt like, you have somebody, you have your football protege right there, because you're not going to get it in your son. We see that he has a son, LJ, which is Lance Jr., and he's interning and all this stuff, doing work or whatever with Jordan, okay, following her around and all this. And he's also into football. Lance is heavily into football, wants his son to follow into his footsteps and everything, going to practice and all that stuff. Mr. LJ, or I should say, LJ, they have a secret. They is non-binary, okay? Their pronouns are their, they, them, okay? Baby, when we found this out and LJ was getting ready to meet up with Jordan to shadow her for the day or whatever the fuck he was doing, Lance had came into his room and I was wondering why he was trying to hurry up and sneak, like, damn, daddy, you can't knock. And he was like, oh, so you was up in here talking about something I can't knock or whatever. So you up here doing man stuff, huh? I guess Lance thought he was probably up in there, you know, probably finishing jacking off or something like that. No, Lance Jr. was in there putting boots and stuff in a bag, his their wardrobe, okay? Baby, when that scene popped up and they came through that office in that getup and all black, bitch, I said that motherfucker look good. I said, you bet. They came dressed. I said, oh my God, that is one of the things that I love about this show too. They were dressed perfectly. Whoever was on the fucking wardrobe department, y'all did the damn thing. Y'all did the damn thing, bitch. And I just knew right then and there that we was about to have this issue about a black father that really wasn't here for their child being, their male child being who they are, which is non-straight, non-heterosexual. And everybody winds up finding out about it because at one point, Q was up there playing in a wig and doing some TikToks with, not Q, but LJ was up there playing in wigs and makeup or whatever with Kennedy, Quentin's daughter. Quentin wound up coming up there because they had the music playing too loud when he was on a call. And he saw Lance Jr. in full getup, you know what I'm saying? So he realized that. And then he winds up calling everybody. Shelby wound up being on the phone too, just because. And they talking about it. And, you know, the whole thing, that phone call, that little six-way phone call, was it six? No, it was Jordan, it was Q, it was Shelby, and it was Merch. That shit was funny as hell, okay? And especially when Merch said, and I ain't the one to be talking or whatever, you bitch. Okay, because they said he always opening up his mouth and spilling the secrets or whatever. And he said, fuck y'all. And that's what he said, and he hung up. And when Q said, oh, that bitch is mad, that shit was funny as hell. But, I felt for Lance Jr. because I just knew how Lance was going to react, and he reacted exactly the way that we probably thought he was. Lance is so much about the God in him in church and, you know, by the Bible and everything. You saw how he did, you know, be the main ones that be out here fucking around, fornicating, doing all this stuff, but they'll quote a scripture in a minute and condemn somebody else for doing something else different against the Bible. It's crazy, but that's just what it was. Oh, you can do this, you can do that, but don't be gay, don't be pansexual, don't be non-binary, don't be none of that. You have to be 100% heterosexual. And honestly, I don't feel like everybody is 100% heterosexual. And I think the majority of people have thought about things. Never acted on it, but just probably had the thought for a second, and that's fine too. But when he did find out about it, because oh my God, that TikTok, he went on ahead and posted it, or Kennedy posted it on her burner account, and I think Shelby knew what it was, but they were all high at the New Year's dinner party that they was having, and she wound up putting it on the big screen because she couldn't close it out or whatever. They couldn't see. That's what it was. They couldn't see because they were so damn high. And when Lance came down there, I think he was the only one that wasn't really high. He saw it, came up there, and he caught LJ with the lipstick on, and ever since then he was just basically just coming down on his throat, trying to make it seem like, oh, this is a phase that you're going through, cutting off his credit card, saying if you want to buy some clothes that you got to come through me, you know, trying to dictate what LJ wears and do and where he go or they go, until they had a big blow up, and LJ literally said, I wish you would have died instead of Mom. And then he left, and they could not find him for 2 days. Come to find out, he was at this church that took in people that was friendly for the LGBT people, youth especially, and where he felt home at. And so it took him almost losing his son to realize that, you know, you just got to let your child be them. I know parents give birth or they have kids and they think, look at their kids and they be like, I want this for them, I want this for them, I had this dream for them. But you have to realize that eventually your child is going to grow up and they're going to have their own dreams, and you have to be able to adjust to it. You have to be able to adjust to it. And so I was like, okay, cool, 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 cool. You know, eventually he came around. I loved it when he did the retirement ceremony and he let LJ be LJ, and, you know, was telling them that whatever they decide to do, he's going to stand behind them 100%. And I said, see, and that's the starch reality too. We don't always get in the LGBT, and I know somebody probably gonna be like, oh, why they have to put the gay stuff up in there? Because it happens. It happens. And he's not, he don't even think that he gay. And I love it was a perfect explanation what LJ said. I don't feel like I'm a boy. Sometimes I don't feel like I'm a boy. Sometimes I don't feel like I'm a girl. I always feel like I'm different. But at this time in my life, I can balance. I can be masculine and I can embrace my masculine side and I can embrace my feminine side. And I should be able to just be me. And that is exactly what it is. Okay. And I love that. I love that because in reality, what you have to understand is a lot of parents and a lot of people in general, they're not going to instantly be like, okay, cool, you that's what you got to be, you know, be you. No, it's going to take some time. It's going to take some time. And after a little bit of time come through, because that's all they know. They've been indoctrinated. They've been told throughout their life, oh, you're supposed to be this one way. So you can't, I don't get 100% upset when it comes to people not truly understanding when things like this come about. But when they take the effort to try to understand, try to, you know, come around to it, I understand that. I understand it. You know? So that was a cute little thing. And I love the fact that the kids, when they saw Miss Girly, they was like, going over there and talk to her, daddy. Go ahead, you know? And I was really here for it because, you know, sometimes, especially when you lose a beloved parent or a beloved loved one, girl, you don't want to see your parents sometimes get with somebody else thinking that they probably going to be trying to replace your other parent or whatever. In this case, they just wanted their daddy to be happy and to find love, and I love that. Now let's get to Harper and Robin. Tragic. If y'all made it this far, I'm so glad that y'all stuck with me. Because this is really the one that I wanted to talk about. Harper is an ain't shit nigga, okay? And I was looking at a TikTok or whatever. And they was talking about, they had posted the scene where the blow up happened between Harper and Robin in front of the friends when they was supposed to be all getting ready to go over there to Lance retirement party situation. Yeah, event. Jersey retirement event. And where did this mole come from? And this one. I'm at that age where moles just pop up. Regular moles, not crazy looking moles. Because I got that shit that run in my family. I remember my grandma used to have moles on her face. I'm so glad she got that shit removed. I'm sorry. I'm sorry because I heard it the way that it came out. It sounded real insensitive, but she really needed to get that shit removed. And she got it removed, and I'm so glad that she did. But anyway. Harper. Yeah, somebody put a TikTok up, and I was seeing some of the comments. Somebody was like, you know, Robin, she the one that was wrong in this whole situation. I said she wasn't really wrong in this whole situation. I feel like they both played their parts, but I also feel like Harper was more wrong. But honestly, I couldn't really feel bad for Robin, though. You wanna, like I said, Robin, you were second choice. You were fucking second choice, and you knew that. You knew that once you found out about that book and you read and heard what was going on in that book and you seen the dynamic between Harper and Jordan, girl, please, okay? Hell no, it's too many. I can't. I just wouldn't have been able to say yes to that man. Or person, because, you know, it ain't no man for me, but y'all get what I'm saying. I just wouldn't have been able to say yes. All right, no, and I feel like he did it. Then he proposed to her at the friend's wedding. I feel like he did it there so that she wouldn't say no. I just feel like that. I just feel like that. So she wouldn't embarrass him. He felt like he wouldn't get embarrassed. And it was almost like forcing her hand in a little bit. But she felt like, I don't know, accepting that proposal, it was just like, you desperate for somebody? I mean, I get you love him, but I ain't finna be second choice to nobody. That's just what it is. Meanwhile, they're going through their issues because it may have seemed like they was on the same course and on the same path in the first couple of movies or whatever, but in the series, after all this time has passed and we get older, you know, his career is truly taking off, you know, writing other books and, you know, getting a movie released and is doing well in the box office or whatever. So his time is just being pulled. He's being pulled into the direction of his career, you know, and she's trying to go to her career. And he's more so about him putting himself first, not necessarily being there for his wife, not necessarily being around all the time, you know, and she started to get not used to that. She's not here for it. And it's like, I was just sitting here like, how come it's not one of those situations where Harper, you don't ask, oh, you don't make it so that, you know, that your wife and your kid can go with you when you go on these business trips. At least a couple of them. We never saw that. Okay. Granted, we know that it's a business trip, but at least y'all will be going together and, you know, they can be exploring whatever it is that they, whatever city it is that you're at that moment. And, you know, you doing your business stuff, but yet you're still coming back to the hotel or wherever you staying to them. You know, you could have did something like that. And I felt like him being gone all the time and being so hyper focused on getting his career on getting his career out there, whatever, he started to lose focus of his wife. He started to lose focus of what mattered most. And what mattered most to him should have been his family, but I feel like it was really his career. Honestly, I don't feel like Harper should have been married at all. Harper shouldn't have been married at all, okay? Harper should have been on the same course that Jordan was. And then they eventually should have got married to each other when their course started to calm down a little bit. That's what I felt like. Or they could have still got married to each other because they're so both career oriented that they probably both wouldn't even notice or care that they were going away and doing so much outside of each other, like being so focused on their career. You know, we get together, but I understand that you gotta work, you understand that I gotta work, so it's all to the good. Okay, I'm not gonna trip. You know, it felt like it should have been something like that. Whereas you get with Robin, you know, she wants him around, but, and I don't know if she expected for his career to take off as it did, and maybe she could have adjusted a little bit, and I feel like she probably tried. And at one point I was like, uh-oh, they put old boy in at the farmer's market who was sharing the exact same interest as her. And I was like, uh-oh, so is she about to cheat with him? At one point, the daughter was around him. I said, girl, now hold the fuck up. I know he a friend, but why is he in the house? I just don't understand that. Okay, you know, I know you was bringing over space heaters and all that shit, but, you know, we don't need that to be happening, okay? You just a little bit too close. And I was just like, damn, she gonna fuck around and cheat on him with him. But that never happened. It was just that she came to her boiling point and that she was done at the end. Oh, okay. She was just done. She was just done when, you know, he was just focused on, like, he brought a place that she didn't really want. He wanted things more so about him, all right? Didn't really too much take in consideration what she wanted. Didn't really show too much interest in what she wanted, but yeah, she was always showing interest in him. You know, it was a typical type of situation where they just grew apart and they blew up. She just told him that she was done. And I forgot the exact reason what it was. Something happened. And once she said that she was through, that night, she said, I'm done. I'm done. You know, sometimes we throw that shit out there and then, you know, give us a couple of times or whatever, a couple of minutes. You come back, we talk it out, and we probably could fix that shit because we say that shit out of frustration, say it out of anger. But instead, he goes over to the Jordan. they almost have sex. They kissed and all that shit. And I said, ain't that about a bitch? And then she realized that he went over there to her. He was with her the night where they got high at the Christmas, at the Halloween, not the Halloween, but the New Year's Eve party. And they were supposed to go out for the after party, and the only person that showed up was Jordan, and then him, and then Nate was kicking it for that whole night. And I said, see, Robin, I want to feel 100% bad for you, but you already knew the closeness of that relationship, and I feel like you was trying to get along with Jordan just to say that, you know what, I don't feel threatened or whatever, but you kind of probably did, and it's understandable if you did, because you know that the chemistry between them was real, and it was still there, no matter if they had interaction with each other or not. And then, you know, they finally go through the divorce proceedings and everything, and he was willing to play ball, but she threw up in there that they was going to Ghana, because she mentioned something about them going to Ghana and opening up like a food farm or some shit like that, you know, dealing with what she's doing. Understandable, but you know, she sprung it on him during the divorce proceedings because he had already said you can have primary custody of their daughter. And of course he gets pissed off. He telling the friends, and you know, Merch is like, you need to just do what you need to do that's gonna keep y'all together, because if you try to go after custody or whatever, it's like, it's not gonna work out well. It's gonna take y'all from an amicable type of situation to a point where y'all can't be friends. And of course he went over and did the wrong thing. He fucking filed for custody. He filed for custody to keep the baby over in the United States. Now, here's the thing, because Merch had to call him out and said, even when you get presented to do the right things and to choose other people other than yourself, you always choose yourself. And I feel like Harper is really selfish. Harper been selfish since day one, okay? But in this instant, I understood why he tried to file for custody. He wanted to keep his child close to him. And even though Robin made it so that I will never stop you from seeing your child, you can come and visit her anytime you want to. But I'm sitting here like, Robin, you said that shit like we gonna be a couple of states over and I could just drive down there a couple of hours or whatever, probably 5 hours if I want to drive, or hop on a plane an hour and a half and get there. You know, no girl, you talking about going to the continent of Africa and then going to Ghana in the continent of Africa, okay? You want me to get on a plane for 10 plus hours probably. What? You said it like it's just going down the block. So I understand his frustration. I really do. But again, it was like, you know, the child sometimes is best with the mother. And given the fact that his career is just going the way that it's going, he's so in demand. They want to do a sequel to his movie. He's trying to put out the books that he wants to put out now, the literature that he wants to put out. So he's going to be high in demand. And it's like, are you ever going to really, truly be able to be a father to your child? Meaning spend that time with her, that real time with her, the way Robin is with her. You know what I'm saying? Give her that stability. And I don't think that he was going to be able to do that. So I think it was okay for her to be with Robin, and I feel like that's really why in the beginning of their divorce proceedings, he went on ahead and gave her primary custody, right? But she threw that monkey wrench at him and said, bitch, we going to Ghana. Now, bitch, you can't lie and say that you wouldn't have had no issue with that. I would have had a big ass issue with that, okay? But I feel like when he went out for full custody and put that custody thing up in there, he did that shit to piss her off. He did that shit to be vindictive, to be petty, and because he was in his feelings. That's all that it was. That's all that it was. And I felt bad because I can see, and in situations like this, I see both sides. I really do. I don't think it's right the way that she threw it up in there, that she was going to move to Ghana and move his baby out there to Ghana like that. Like, y'all didn't sit down and talk about you are potentially doing this and coming to that conclusion and working out some things before we got here. You sprung that shit on him. It felt a little petty too, you know. And he just reacted the way that he reacted, but he eventually came to his senses. When they had that blow up in front of the friends, oh my God, that made me mad. That hurt my heart. That hurt my heart because he said some nasty shit to her. She said some nasty shit back. And I felt bad when him was crying up and everything. Because what y'all don't realize, or some people don't realize, like, everybody gets hurt up in these divorces and these breakups. Sometimes, you know, we just be like, even a party that did wrong, they still get hurt too, you know? And truthfully, I feel like Harper and Robin are both to blame for the breakup of their relationship. And I say that because, as I said before, they never should have been together. They should have just been friends. They should have just been friends. That's how it is. And he was trying to beg her even on the last day when he withdrew trying to give primary custody or whatever. And when they was actually getting ready to leave and he was saying goodbye to his daughter, I think what made him change his mind was when he was actually with the daughter and in the park, and the daughter winds up giving a homeless man who's digging through the trash her food. Mind you, Robin had did the exact same thing earlier in the show. And so she has her mother's spirit, that kindness, that giving, you know. And so that just made him look at things better, a different way, that she needs to be around her mother, you know. And I just felt bad for her, especially that last thing when he was trying to, you know, beg her to stay, like, we can work this out. I can do this, I can do that. And even one of the friends said, why don't you move to, what's stopping you from moving to Ghana with him? You can write anywhere that you can, anywhere that you are, you know what I'm saying? But of course, he don't want to do that. And I understand it, because that's the same thing that happened with me. Like, what's stopping you? Why do you have to stay here in Chicago? Everybody else, because I want to, okay? You know, I want to. And so there's that with that situation. And, it was really nice that she was able to, when it came to like 2 years later, he's a Pulitzer Prize winner. He has another book out that's getting a lot of good press. You know, he got his award, and, you know, he was talking to Robin and she was congratulating him. Like, she was still bigging up, like they're friends now. Okay, there's no real animosity between them. And she surprised him by having his daughter show up. And so I was like, oh, I love this. I love this so much for them. What else went on in this show? The show was beautifully done. Okay, it was, everything got closed. I know at one point, him and Harper and Jordan was out there talking, and he was talking about the fact that she just left her job, and she was like, no, I just put things on pause, you know. And it was almost as if he was trying to get with her. She said, listen, bitch, I'm not going to be your rebound, okay? This is not going to happen. And I'm so glad that she basically shut that down, okay? And I said, that is so typical. You get with Robin. You wanted to be with Jordan. You get with Robin. You almost cheat on your wife with Jordan. And then you finally get divorced. And then because you're in this vulnerable state of despair and grief because your marriage and relationship is over with, you almost try to get back with the person that you should have been with, or you thought that you should have been with. No, I'm just so glad Jordan just didn't, because Jordan, you would have looked stupid too, honestly, if you would have went for that as well. You know, because it's like, he didn't choose you either. He didn't choose you either. So, it is what it is. But y'all tell me how y'all felt. If I missed anything, baby, it's an hour and 17 minutes. I gave y'all something to watch tonight and on Christmas. So, you know, I hope everything, you have a happy holidays. Bitch. Oh, girl. I thought I wasted something. I hope you have a happy holidays. I hope you stay warm. And, all right. I will see you guys later. Peace. And yeah, put down in the comments and let's discuss the dynamics of these relationships. Okay? Before I go, I do like the fact that when they all going through stuff, they still come together. Bitch, did you see when it came out that they was getting divorced or whatever? Right when he said that they was finna get divorced and they was coming together trying to find LJ, right? Or I was saying that Robin said that she was done. And when they came into the room or whatever, everybody was gathering at, I think, Lance's house. And then when Robin came over there and she saw Jordan was like, Robin. And Robin just looked at her and kept on going. I said, bitch, I would have did the same damn thing. You got your nerves. You know you just kissed my man. You know you just kissed my man. And you know the reason why we going through some of the problems we going through is because you too. But bitch, yeah. Anyway, y'all enjoy the rest of y'all holiday. And I will see y'all later. Peace.